Okay, let's read a book. This one is I Am Walt Disney. What's your happy place? Mine was this small town in Missouri called Marceline. My family moved here when I was 4 years old. I loved the green fields and weeping willows. There were animals everywhere, and we had every type of apple, including giant Wolf River apples. There was even a railroad that ran through the town. We'd fish in the summer and go sledding in the winter. It was the kind of place where neighbors would help each other. It was how the world was supposed to be. It's also where I saw a play called Peter Pan. I can fly. Watch this. Soon after, I played Peter Pan in our school play. My older brother Roy ran the ropes, so no actor was even more committed to the role. When I was growing up, our town seemed like a paradise. And the best part of it was that my whole family was around. One uncle was an engineer. Another uncle used to teach me about plants. This is a Missouri evening primrose. And my fancy aunt, Maggie, used to bring me great gifts. Here you go, Walter. Something for you to draw in. You're so good at it, you should do more of it. Aunt Maggie's encouragement changed my life, especially because my dad didn't support my drawing. How are you ever going to earn money with that? I don't know. I just like it. When I was 7 years old, I made my first sale. Neighbors bought some of my sketches. But one day, my art got me into a bit of trouble. My parents had gone into town, leaving my sister and me alone. What's this black stuff in the barrel? Tar. It's so thick and goopy. I think I can paint with it. Huh? You sure that's a good idea? Well, what if it doesn't come off? Oh, it'll come off. Watch this. My tar painting never came off. Years later, when we moved to Kansas City, it was still on the side of our house. My first big art display. When I was 9, we left Marceline and moved away from the big green fields, the trains, the close-knit community. In Kansas City, life was different. I wake up at 3:30 in the morning to deliver newspapers. I'm so tired. I get home at 6 a.m. and eat breakfast before school. Still so tired. Then I leave school a half an hour early every day to pick up the newspapers that had to be delivered each afternoon. I'm so tired. For 6 years, I had that delivery route. I worked so hard, I rarely had any real playtime. Our family needed the money, so I always kept at it. In the winter, the snow would come up to my neck. Still so tired and cold. He worked hard and helped his family. Fortunately, I found friends who understood me. In fifth grade, my neighbor Walt Pfeiffer and I used to perform as Charlie Chaplin, presenting the two Waltz. You're doing so great. Some teachers said I was distracted in class, that I was too much of a dreamer. Walter, pay attention. I spent hours scribbling in the margins of my textbooks, entertaining others by making the pictures move when you flip through the pages. Watch this. Whoa, super cool. Drawing was my happy place. When someone made a clubhouse, I was the one who decorated it. I even decorated the local barber shop. Eventually, I started working for a company that made advertising minutes before they showed the movies. These ads included something that was just started back then animation. This is my first. This is my friend, an artist named Ub Ickers. Iworkers. He eventually helped me create my character named Mickey Mouse. Who's Mickey Mouse? You'll see. Back then, animated cartoons were brand new. I went to the library to learn more, but there was only one book about them. One! My first short films were mainly advertisements, but soon I had my own ideas. Watch this. It's about a little girl who can enter her own dreams. a mix of live action and animation. I'm calling it Alice's Wonderland. The film seemed like such a good idea, we started our own company. It was a total failure. I'm sorry, Walt, you're out of money. It's time to declare for bankruptcy. I was 21 years old and so poor I'd sleep in my office and take bath once a week at the train station. I never let it get me down. Determined as ever, I moved to California. My big break came from this woman, Margaret Winkler, one of the most successful animation distributors in the country. I like your Alice Wonderland idea. I like to order a series. Pretend you're mad. Now pretend you're scared. Now pretend you're sad. Those were his favorite things to do, pretending and creating. He was like back in his happy place. Ub Iwerks, Ub Iwerks came in to help with the animation. Then he took to a new name, Walt Disney Studios. We were on our way to our best creation of all. Mortimer Mouse? Mortimer? That's a horrible name. This is my wife Lillian. That was her real reaction. The mouse needs a new name. What about Mickey? I like it better than Mortimer. That's how Mickey Mouse was born. But our first Mickey cartoon didn't sell. He wasn't an immediate success. We didn't give up. Using a bedsheet as a screen, our studio tested new cartoon and added music. We put noisy projector outside so it wouldn't interfere. I hid a small band behind the door, and for the first time in history, the cartoon is in sync with the music. I've never seen anything like this. This is incredible. The word you're looking for is historic. It was historic. Steamboat Willie changed the future of animation. On November 18th, 1928, it premiered at the Colony Theater in New York. Did the audience like it? What do you think? Whoa, amazing. Mhm. But do you want to know what the real secret for Mickey's success? Our animators, Up Iworks, and so many other brought Mickey into life. From the start, people loved their little mouse. They related to him. The quality has to be the best. Mickey's whole world needs to feel believable. When Mickey bangs on the piano, we need to feel it. See the things that he's doing with his hands. Draw it just like that. The world could feel scary, but Mickey Mouse audiences found a character who took them to the happy place. Walt called it personality animation. The audience had to know how Mickey felt, and even how the piano felt. Plus, there was a secret that the animators knew. Walt was Mickey, and Mickey was Walt. Both fearless, both resourceful. With each film, we worked harder, always trying to improve. See how the artists draw their own expressions into the character? The more human the characters see expressions, the more believable the story is. On top of that, we always search for the perfect voice. That's how I found Clarence Nash, the voice for Donald Duck. Back then, people didn't take animation seriously, but we did. Mary had a little lamb. Ha ha ha. This guy's gonna on sound. He's got a great voice. That's our talking goat. By 1934, I had one of the biggest ideas ever. Instead of a short cartoon, we were going to do a full movie. It'll have a princess who loves animals and talks to them, and she lives with wicked stepmother who's jealous of her. But when she escapes into the forest, she finds a family of dwarves who make everyone laugh. Did you know that some of the names that were considered for dwarfs were Dirty, Blobby, Puffy, Baldy, Burpy? For real, Burpy. And in the end, though, the love of dedication and her dwarf from her family, she lives happily ever after. For 3 hours, I acted out the entire movie, every single part. The only question was, would anyone watch a movie length cartoon for almost 2 hours? This is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in 1937, Pinocchio in 1940, Dumbo 41, Bambi 42, Cinderella, and Peter Pan. They would. They really like the movies. I like the movies now. Still, over time we made more than movies. On Sundays afternoon, I take my daughters to the Griffin Park merry-go-round. There's nothing for parents to do here. You've got to have a place where the whole family can have fun. I started studying amusement parks and historical sites. Our plans grew quickly. We can divide the place up into different lands. We'll include worlds of yesterday, tomorrow, and fantasy. What about today? No, nothing of the present will exist there. And when you walk in, what'll it look like? Main Street, I can see it now. Oh, and we should add a train. Is he talking about park or his hometown? I'm not sure there's a difference. Our goal was to build the happiest place on earth. We called it Disneyland. Did you know that Walt was the first one to ride the attractions? On opening day, parts of the park ended in dirt since they didn't have any money to complete it by then. But to me, Disneyland would never be completed, not as long as there was imagination in the world. Around the same time, we expanded into television, creating shows aimed at the whole family. And of course, we were still making movies. Silly bear, silly old bear. But after all the things I built, one very best part was this: the California Institutes of Arts, a college dedicated to building a community of artists. Today, Cal Arts trains the next generation of creators in art, design, film, music, theater, and dance. Are arts your happy place? Maybe you'll study here one day. In my life, my best memories came from my childhood. Those were the peaceful days, happy days. It wasn't a fantasy land. It was a real place with real people. So, when do you stop being a child? When you should stop dreaming? As Peter taught me all those years, think of the happiest place and remember, never stop dreaming. Never stop being a child, a kid. So much fun. So, did you know? So Walt Disney has more Academy Awards than anyone else. He's got 32 Academy Awards. He's also won the Presidential Medal, and uh, this is Disney World. Now, I want you to think of your happy place. Go to your happy place in your heart. I promise you, it will never leave you. It is your own magic kingdom. Our greatest dreams are always part of us. They nurture us, especially when we nurture them. We call we all could use some magic in our lives. If you look, it's there. And when you let that magic into your heart, you can fly. You can fly. You can fly. This is Walt Disney. And I know that the person who makes dreams come true is you. All right. So remember, go to your happy place. You can fly. This is Walt Disney. Created Mickey Mouse, drummed him up in his mind, and made him into real life. Because it's fun to do the impossible.